As usual, what's up, everybody? As you can see my breath in the video, it is -4. It is really cold. I am part of that Arctic blast that the old United States is getting a taste of right now. But what I thought I would pop in today and share, if you had caught a couple videos back, I explained how to put a little sea foam in your fuel for when these days rolled around like this. Would help get your bike to start, your fuel wouldn't freeze. Sea foam doesn't harm your 2-cycle mix if you mix it correctly and don't go crazy with it. Just follow the directions. 1 ounce per gallon of gasoline, and it keeps your fuel lines from freezing. And today is a perfect example. Now I'm going to show you my 4-stroke bike, and we're going to see if it fires up today. This is my first winter owning a 4-stroke bike, and I haven't had any challenges of the winter yet, but we're going to find out today. So without a further ado, let's see if the sea foam has done its job and helps get this bad fella started for when you have to use your bike, unfortunately, in the -4-degree weather. Well, let's see if the sea foam has done its job. I had mixed some in there a while back before the temperatures got super frigid. I can thunk my line here and I can see the fuel slosh in there, so I know that it's not frozen there. But the carburetor is metal, and the metal gets colder just with the ambient temperature than the fuel line will. So if there's any moisture whatsoever, it's going to freeze on you or slush. It's either going to be in the tank or it's going to be in the bowl of the carburetor, which are the 2 hardest things to thaw because you have to get it super warm. So, having stated that, got to reach my finger under here and operate my choke. It is a tight fit. Okay, I've got my choke set. Let's see what it does. Okay. All right, I'm gonna turn that choke off and see if it still runs. Being it is super cold, I don't want to rev it a whole lot because the oil circulates from the little dipper, usually on the piston rod, splashing the oil around. The little motors don't have oil pumps like cars, so I don't want it to rev a lot because that oil is super thick in there and cold just like everything else. So I will want it to splash the oil around inside there, let the engine warm up properly before I go out, so the engine oil isn't like tar. But it does seem the sea foam has done its job. I have shown you the temperature. You can see the cold for yourself in the old video. And the old 4-stroke is fired right up. All right then, you can see for yourself that the sea foam didn't hurt. I never promised anyone that it was a beat-all, cure-all guarantee that your bike will start that easy like mine did. Sometimes, you know, different ambient temperatures, different climate, bunch of different variables we won't get into now being it's -4, but you might have to pull her a few times. One thing I did notice when I did pull the rope, that I think next year I will drop the oil weight down for winter. The manufacturer calls for 40 weight in the summer, 4-cycle oil, which is apparently, when it got cold, thickened up. Not super like tar, but I could feel it when I pulled the rope. There was no snap to the motor. It was just whatever I was pulling is what it was giving. There was no extra. So if you have a cold engine and you pulled your lawnmower or snowblower and it was stiff to pull, that's probably why, because the oil was thick and you're pulling the piston and crankshaft around in the thick oil, and it's not flopping around like summertime in liquid oil, if you will. So I personally think next year I'll drop it down to 30 weight for the winter time. Just a friendly suggestion. It will lube just fine. Heat is not going to be a problem for your engine in the winter, so it should work just fine. That's why I make these videos. I like to put a little proof behind my opinions. I want things to work for a long period of time, not just long enough to make a video of them. You can't go wrong by putting a little seafoam in your gas mix. And this one is just pure gas, being it's a 4-stroke. I cannot demonstrate the 2-cycle one today, unfortunately, because there is ice and snow on the roads. And being you have to release the clutch and the tire has to get a little traction on the dry pavement to turn the motor over to start the 2-stroke bike. It's not a good idea to go out there and try to do that, because when the tire breaks traction, it will slam you to the ground. You and your bike are going to the ground. Or if you have your feet down, you're gonna have to catch the bike, but nonetheless, it's not gonna start because the back wheel won't get traction, turn the motor over. For those of you who haven't experienced that yet. All right, well, I just wanted to prove that seafoam doesn't hurt. If you didn't have seafoam in your stuff and your bicycle gas line is froze up, I'm pretty sure you wished you'd have put some in there now so your bike could start up. Unfortunately, there are some folks in the world that have to ride their motorized bikes. They have no other means of transportation. They don't have anybody to come get them. A bus doesn't run their way. They can't afford an Uber. Pick your poison on that. But if you are stuck riding in these negative temperatures, by all means, bundle up, cover up all of your exposed skin, because the wind chill is what's going to get you. Just because you're standing outside and it's 4 degrees, when you get riding, the wind chill on your flesh is going to be about 30 below. And frostbite will set in, and nobody wants that. You just want to get from A to B, not A to B and frostbite. All right, well, that closes this video. Just another friendly suggestion about a little fuel line antifreeze and keeping your motorized bike motorizing. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. That is creeping up on us in a couple days, or whatever holiday you celebrate. Stay safe. Don't get out there and ride on the snow and break a limb. Takes less time to get a ride or just put that off for a day than it does to heal a broken arm or a broken leg. And I'll see you after the new year.